When you walk into a gym, put in your headphones, and lock into your routine, you create a psychological bubble. The heavy machinery and repetitive motions drown out the rest of the room, generating a profound, yet entirely false sense of isolation. Consider a 24-hour gym in the UK at 11 p.m. A lifter is working through a heavy deadlift set. With his back to the open floor, his only source of spatial awareness is the large wall mirror directly in front of him. Between reps, his eyes naturally scan the reflection. That is when he spots a tall, unnaturally still man standing at the absolute farthest edge of the mirror's view. This blueprint maps out the terrifying geometry of the stalker's approach. You can see the lifter positioned in front of the mirror's field of view, marked by the green cone. The red marker is the stalker. Between every single set, the stalker moves exactly one machine closer. He never crosses the green cone while the lifter is actively watching, and he makes zero sound in transit. As physical fatigue sets in, the lifter's posture drops. That green cone of awareness narrows. The mirror becomes a liability. It only reveals a forward-facing slice of reality, while the threat aggressively manipulates the expanding blind spots. Then comes the critical error. The lifter drops his towel. He bends down to grab it, completely breaking eye contact with the mirror for 2 seconds. He stands back up, and the man is gone from the reflection. He is sitting on the bench immediately in front of the lifter, staring straight up with a wide, unblinking smile. The lifter immediately drops his gear, turns and sprints out the front doors into the night. The illusion of security in a wide-open, well-lit space shatters the moment a predator refuses to obey the unspoken rules of physical distance. We navigate crowds using the social contract of spacing. This heat map illustrates the distribution of TIM users maximizing the physical buffer between strangers. But for an American lifter, a behavioral anomaly became a physical reality. Despite an entire row of completely empty machines, a stranger in a gray hoodie took the treadmill directly adjacent to him. The stranger didn't set his own pace. He looked over at the console and matched the lifter's exact treadmill speed. Uncomfortable, the lifter tried to politely enforce a boundary. He hit stop, wiped down his machine, and walked across the room to the cable stations. The hooded man followed, taking the adjacent cable station. Instead of pulling weight, he stood completely still, perfectly mimicking the lifter's heavy breathing pattern. The lifter hit his breaking point. He dropped the handles, turned directly to the man, and asked, "Can I help you?" The hooded man didn't answer right away. He leaned his face inches from the lifter's ear, and in a raspy whisper, repeated the exact question back. "Can I help you?" The lifter immediately packed his bag and hurried out to the parking lot. Halfway to his car, he realized the man had shadowed him outside and was standing perfectly motionless at the edge of the streetlights. We are highly conditioned to avoid being rude. Forced physical proximity neutralizes our survival instincts, weaponizing our social conditioning to keep us paralyzed in dangerous situations. The main gym floor offers an architecture of safety. There are cameras, clear sightlines, and multiple exits. The locker room strips all of that away, offering absolute, unmonitored isolation. It was 2 a.m. After a grueling session, a lifter broke from his normal routine and made the decision to use the gym showers before heading home. The locker room was a massive, maze-like grid of tall metal corridors. It was completely deserted. He stepped under the water. 10 seconds later, the motion sensor lights violently clicked off, plunging the entire shower area into pitch blackness. He turned off the faucet and listened. Deep in the dark, locker doors began slamming open, one by one. The metallic crashes were mapping a direct physical path toward the shower stalls. He bolted out of the shower, threw himself into a toilet stall, and locked the door. He climbed onto the toilet bowl, balancing his feet on the ceramic edge so he couldn't be seen from underneath. The slamming abruptly stopped. The motion lights flickered back on. The entire room fell completely silent. He held his breath. Then a pair of bare, filthy feet silently slid into view, stopping directly on the other side of the stall door. The silence held for 5 long seconds, before a dead, emotionless voice spoke from the other side. "I know you're in there." Blind panic took over. He kicked the stall door outward as hard as he could, shoved past a wet body, and sprinted entirely out of the building without looking back. The psychological aftermath outlasts the physical escape. That lifter canceled his membership immediately. He now works out alone in his garage, and he still checks the window, expecting someone to be watching him. The threat of the gym comes from predictability. Repetitive routines and scheduled vulnerabilities make us incredibly easy targets for predators waiting just outside our field of vision.